Self-awareness is an essential quality for being a successful leader. It helps us become better communicators, have better understanding of how our teams respond, and building greater trust with them. Now, that's all fine and good, but what if we know we actually need to develop greater sense of self-awareness? Well, I want to share with you 5 ways that you can begin to develop a greater sense of self-awareness as a leader. Here's number 1. You need to schedule times for regular self-reflection. That's right. Self-reflection means you're going to take some time and think about and ask yourself some questions, maybe about the meeting you just came out of, maybe after the latest team engagement that you had, or the team member engagement. And you're going to ask yourself some simple questions and thoughtfully reflect on your answers. Maybe a question like, what went well? Maybe start there. What went well in that encounter? Maybe you would ask yourself, what could I have done better? The other thing you can ask yourself in that self-reflection moment is, what were my feelings? How was I feeling as that engagement played out? It's important for us to take note of these things because they help us gain a greater awareness of how we either react or respond and why. If you make a regular attempt at self-reflection, it's going to help you increase your self-awareness. You may want to keep a journal, may write it down, and track your progress over some time. That could be helpful. I don't know about you, but for me, if something makes it onto my calendar, I tend to do it. You may need to just schedule yourself some time, maybe weekly, bi-weekly, daily, however it works for you, where you're going to just take some moments and stop and have honest self-reflection. This is going to help you increase your self-awareness as a leader. Here's the second one, and that is seeking out honest feedback. I get it. We're leaders. We're not looking to make ourselves a bigger target for people to take shots at. I understand. But feedback is essential for us to understand how we're being perceived by others, especially those that we are leading. It's important for us to find that. And we sometimes have to fight for honest feedback because people tend to tell the leader what they think the leader wants to hear. So we might want to use some tools like a 360 review, somewhere where we are getting feedback from mentors, we're getting feedback from our peers, as well as those that we lead, the ones we're serving. That can help give us a greater understanding of how our actions, our communication, how we behave in the giving settings where we lead is impacting others, whether for the good or negatively. That's important for us as we develop self-awareness. We need the benefit of feedback. Here's the third one. We need to practice active listening. When we're talking with, or we're in a meeting, or we're meeting one-on-one with someone that's on our team or a client, active listening means I'm not listening to respond. I'm actually listening to understand. I'm also trying to put aside my preconceived ideas of what I think is happening. And I want to actually listen to hear, put myself in their place, try to be in their story as they are communicating with me. I might discover that what I would have immediately assumed was my take might be different when I see from their perspective. Active listening helps us develop our own self-awareness. It helps us develop where we may have biases and jump to conclusions. When we practice active listening, we get the other person's perspective, and it may be different than ours, and it might change our own. Now, a fourth one is really more of a mindset, and it's a choice that I make, that I'm going to learn from my mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. You ever been in a meeting when you thought back on it and went, I probably shouldn't have spoke up when I spoke up? Or you realize when you did say the things that you said, it shut the rest of the team down and no one else really had anything else to share? Yeah, that's a misstep. That's not how you want the meeting to go. You want to hear the thoughts and input from your team. That's why they're your team. So when you do this, when you think about it, you reflect on it, you get some feedback, maybe you've gotten some information, you're now going to take a choice in your mind to learn from it. You know, mistakes are going to happen. Making the same mistakes over and over, though, that's a pattern and a cycle that we're going to want to break. We want to learn from these experiences rather than excusing them or, well, hey, I was just having a rough day or blah, blah, blah. Let's own the responsibility for the misstep or the miscommunication or the mistake that we've made and choose to learn from it so we don't repeat it going forward. That's going to help us develop a greater sense of self-awareness. Now, here's a fifth one, and I saved it to last on purpose, and that is this: mentoring and coaching. I saved it to last because it's what I do. I mentor and I coach. But in my own experience, what I've discovered is that when I have someone as a mentor or a coach in my life, they can greatly help me by pointing out blind spots, areas that I would never see just on my own, ways that I affect people in a meeting or the way I come across to someone. Have you ever been in a meeting where somebody got upset or someone reacted in a funny way and you had no idea why? You just thought, well, that's weird. But when feedback is given and others kind of share with you that maybe they were responding to the way you came across, that blind spot can really undermine your effectiveness as a leader. Mentoring and coaching can go a long way to helping us navigate challenges, helping us make change, helping us to see, making us aware, which is the first step to making a successful and sustainable change. But that's another video. Making us aware of something that we can actually work on and we can begin to move forward. Well, I've given you 5 things that you can do to help develop a greater sense of self-awareness. If you'll put these into practice as a leader, I believe you'll begin to see the benefits right away.